Let me start by taking up item number one, Senate Bill 2288. That is a repealer bill. And it also, and that is the repealer goes to July 1 of 2029 as indicated on line 86. Then this also deals with CTE grants to school districts. Each district gets up to $600 per student in a grant. And so what this does is it allows on line 58, that money to be used in addition to the things already in statute, allows districts to purchase needed equipment for programs that lead to qualifying industry standards. That is an explanation of the bill. I'll yield for any questions. Seeing none, Senator Blunt, your motion. Okay, you hear the motion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. I'm going to skip item number 2 and go to at the request of the department. That was a department bill. Item 3 is also a department bill, Senate Bill 2485, and that just deals with qualifications. As you know, most charter schools are exempt from requirements that public schools are, and so all this does, the department has requested. It basically says charter schools are exempt from the requirements of this section if the program did not receive grant funding from the Department of Education. So basically, this requires, at the request of the department, this requires some of the requirements to be added back to the Arthur Rosser board. So that is an explanation. I'll yield for any questions if there are any. Seeing none, Senator Blunt, you have a motion? You heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Call up item number 4, Senate Bill 2494, and I'm going to recognize Senator McMahon to explain the bill.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. This is probably the easiest bill we'll deal with this year. There are 6 regional education service agencies throughout the state, and we thought they already had the ability to group or unite for bulk purchasing, but they've got a report from the auditor's office. That's not the case. So if the senators would look at line 52, we're just codifying, including bulk purchasing for the recess. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer that. If it's not, I have a motion.
Senator McMahon, did you have an amendment as well?
I do have an amendment. We want to strike the word RESA, and we want to be sure that it just says regional education service agencies or educational agencies.
And it's my understanding that just clarifies and makes the statute, makes the wording consistent throughout the statute.
That's correct. We'll RESA throughout the entire bill, and ESA, but it will retain the regional education service agency or ed agencies is my motion to amend.
So you heard Senator McMahon's amendment. Did you have any questions on the amendment? Seeing none, what's your, you have a motion, Senator McMahon?
Motion, we accept the amendment.
Okay. Motion to adopt the amendment. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Back on the bill, Senator McMahon.
My motion is title sufficient, do pass as amended. Committee sub.
For the motion, any questions for Senator McMahon before we vote? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator McMahon.
Thank you, Chairman.
Calling up the last bill, Senate Bill 2515. Number recognize Senator Blunt to explain the bill. This is something that he's been working on for a while, so I think it's going to be beneficial for him and his district and others throughout the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I may, I would move title sufficient to pass on that bill, and I do have an amendment. And if recognized to explain the amendment, I can go through the bill as I'd like it to read for discussion.
You're recognized.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have state law that deals with what school districts can do with school buildings that have been closed. In the last few years, the Jackson Public Schools have closed more than 20 school buildings due to declining enrollment. This was a hard decision, but I believe it was a necessary decision. And in their effort to dispose of those buildings, they have run into some problems in state law that hamper the marketability of these school buildings, and that's what this bill is designed to address. It deals with two main issues. The first is the reverter clause, which is in state law, and I want to emphasize this doesn't just govern Jackson Public Schools. This governs all the public school districts in the state. If a school district, this is in the Section 3 of the bill, if a school district disposes of a building, sells a building, and in the future, the new owner of the building chooses to use the school for a different purpose than which the school was originally conveyed, the ownership of the school building reverts to the school district. You can understand why if you buy a building, that's going to hamper your ability to dispose of the building later, and it's going to make you less likely to want to purchase a building if you're constrained in that way. The other thing the bill does is it deals with the end date for charter schools to have the first right of refusal on closed public school buildings. We are not taking that away. I think that makes sense. I'm not a big fan of charter schools, but if you have a closed school building, I think it makes sense to look at that school first as for use as a school. But the current law does not have an end date on when that first right of refusal must be exercised. And so again, if you're thinking about buying a building from a school district and you read this and you think that I buy this building and then after that, the charter school finds out that they wanted to buy it and they didn't have the opportunity to exercise their first right of refusal, you could have a problem. So we just simply put a termination date on that first right of refusal for 1 year. They have, and this is in the amendment that I'm going to ask our council to draft. The charter school needs to express their interest to exercise their first right of refusal within 6 months of the property being closed by the school district. They have to close, either enter into a lease agreement or close and buy the building within 12 months, unless both parties agree if there's some problem with getting an inspection or financing or whatever it may be. They've got to close in 12 months. And after that, their right of any charter school to buy that building is just like anybody else. They no longer have first right of refusal. And then we changed the reverter clause in Section 3 of the bill to allow the board the opportunity, if they choose to do so, to essentially give broad use for the building to make it easier for the new owner to use the building for whatever they want to use it for, even if their project doesn't work. And we believe that will help make the building more attractive to potential purchasers. I hope that's an explanation of the amendment, Mr. Chairman. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
So questions on the amendment before we go back on the bill? Okay. Ready to vote on the amendment?
Move adoption.
The motion is we do adopt the amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Back on the bill. Any questions for Senator Blunt on the bill? Senator McMahon, you're recognized.
Are any of these buildings, the physical buildings on 16th section land?
I don't know, but I would think that Senator Norwood is a former member of the school board in Jackson. He would know, but they would be covered on this as well, and it would only relate to the building. Obviously, we're not changing ownership of the land.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Senator McMahon. Any further questions?
Title sufficient do pass, committee sub.
You heard the motion. Title sufficient do pass as amended. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator Blunt. I anticipate having one more meeting on Tuesday, take up 2 or 3 bills. And that should be it at this point in time. So, I hear a motion for rise and report. All right, so moved.